Blog Talk Radio.
Hello everyone, good morning. This is Laurie Smith on Blog Talk Radio. It is 7 o'clock here in the morning, Thursday morning, June the 30th. And I'm glad to be here. This is One Child Abuse Survivor to Another. We're on for 30 minutes. It's a live internet streaming radio broadcast from blogtalkradio.com. And the chat room is open. I did pop the link into there to the website we're looking at. Been looking at this for quite a couple months at least. And Robert Burney's webpage is from his website, Joy to Me and You. And he also has his stuff on healing.about.com. And Robert Burney is he's a codependence therapist. He's a grief counselor. He's an author. He's written a book called Codependence: The Dance of Wounded Souls. And he's a spiritual teacher. Got some great information. And he's a survivor, so he knows where people are at. And I think, it's good stuff. I've really been getting a lot out of it. So it sort of reaffirms my what I'm working on, which is inner child healing work, and also just remembering to do those positive affirmations and things like that. He's got a lot of information on there about relationships and all kinds of stuff. So it's a great website. I hope everybody will check it out. And the link to Robert Burney's website is www.joy2, that's joy and the number 2, MEU.com. And we're looking at positive affirmations. We were actually looking at this all week pretty much, yesterday and Tuesday, and I think Monday too, a little bit. So it's been all week we've been talking about positive affirmations, but we'll finish it up today. But there's a whole section on this webpage that I popped into the chat room, www.joy2meu.com/positiveaffirmations.htm. That's the link, and you can check out what he's got there. So thanks everybody. I appreciate everybody tuning in, and I had no idea how long I'll be doing these shows. I appreciate everybody who's taking the time to listen to what I have to say and to listen to and to be a part of my shows. Thank you very much. I'm not a counselor or a therapist. I'm just a private citizen paying to do my own shows. I just wanted to be one more voice out here speaking out about child abuse, speaking out against abuse, and standing up for child rights, and another voice for survivors to be a bit of an encouragement, to try to encourage people to not give up and to keep looking for whatever hope and whatever help they can find. I have people in front of me doing that for me, and I have a lot of great examples in front of me, people who have been abused and mistreated in their childhoods, and also domestic violence and abuse and whatnot. And these people are in front of me saying, you can do it, and never give up. And it's very helpful. It's awesome to have people, who can sort of help us to remember that we do deserve so much better, and that we did deserve so much better, and that we just need to keep going and keep reaching out and keep looking for that better day, And so that's why I'm doing these shows. So you have to listen at your own discretion to all of my shows. I'm talking about abuse, and it's a sensitive subject, and I don't minimize it. I don't sugarcoat it and make it sound nicer than, or abuse is not nice, and it's not something that we can minimize or sugarcoat. Children are dying, and I used to wish for death. I used to wish that my mother would kill me. One final blow, that would be it, and I would be out of my misery. And I used to pray for that and wish for it, and I used to tell her to go ahead and kill me. Abuse is not funny, and it's a horrible thing. No child should ever feel like that. And no child, and yet sadly enough, there's so many children, not just in North America, but around the world, who feel like that, and who probably have been through that. And then many are murdered and killed. And then they don't have the chance to do what I'm doing later on, which is to heal. So I get, now I've kind of come full circle, and I realize that I'm very happy to be here, and really happy to be in charge of my life, and in charge of how I feel, in charge of my goals and dreams, and living this life. And so I'm very thankful that my mother didn't kill me, or my father for that matter. And so many people would be sitting around thinking, at some point feeling the same way. I could imagine. So many of us have been through so much, and so I just wanted to be one more voice out here of encouragement. So you have to listen at your own discretion to my shows, because I'm really talking about abuse, and it's a sensitive subject, and a lot of people may find the material very disturbing, right? So you have to listen at your own discretion and know what's good for you to listen to. And young people under 18 years of age, I just ask that you have permission to listen to my shows, because I'm the Canada Regional Director for Dreamcatchers for Abused Children, and we're fighting to save children's lives, and we're working to try to promote safety and to help save children's lives and keep children safe. So if you're under the age of 18, I just ask that you get someone to help you make a decision whether you should be listening to my shows. There's a lot of adult content on my shows, and even though it's all about stopping child abuse and the issues surrounding child abuse, I just think that young people should have an adult, hopefully have somebody that cares what you're doing, and you can have them listen to the show with you, and they can help you make that decision whether or not age appropriately that you should be listening. So thanks everybody for being here. I appreciate it. We'll get right into this. Robert Burney's web pages here. We're talking about what we've been looking at is Robert Burney's web pages on positive affirmations, and really good stuff. I was talking, we went through most of it yesterday, but there's a section on the left-hand side of the web page. If you go to the link, on the left-hand side, he's got a list of positive affirmations. I thought we'd go through those. We did go through a couple of them yesterday, and he said on that web page, he says, that usually the time that we actually need to be saying these positive affirmations is when we least feel like it, and it's when we're most down, and we may be feeling, we may be hearing that critical inner parent voice telling us, these horrible things, and we're not worth it, and telling us any number of things that are very negative, and that's about the right time to actually start saying these positive affirmations. It's usually when we actually don't feel like saying them that we need to say them, to negate, to sort of change those negative voices and get rid of that, and speak to ourselves through our own internal loving voice, that loving voice within us that says, I am worthy, I am good, I am capable, I am a good person, whatever we're going to say to ourselves. So I love myself, these things, So it's a little bit hard to do that when you have, an inner critical parent voice who's telling you the opposite. But that's what we need to do. And I know that that's what I started doing a lot 4 years ago, was every time I heard those voices pop into my head, it was generally my mother, just the old stuff that she would tell me when I was a child, these horrible things, making me trying to hurt me, which she did. That's as soon as those inner critical voices would come in, I would start saying, no, that's not true. I did not deserve that. That's not true. I was not a slut. That's not true. I'm not a whore. These type of things. Because my mother would call me these horrible names and really, berate me and verbally assault me on a regular basis. So I have her voice stuck in my head on these tapes that play around and around and around. And especially when I feel down or I feel like I've done something wrong, get in trouble at work or get in trouble with my sweetheart and relationship issues, all of a sudden, these voices will pop in and say, you're just an idiot, you're worthless, you're bad, you're a bad person, you're a whore, you're a slut, these types of things. And that's that inner critical parent voice. Because I'm feeling down, it comes back to kind of replay all those negative messages. And what I started doing 4 years ago was to say, no, that's not true. None of that was true. I don't have to listen to that anymore. And I have my own inner voice that tells me, no, I am capable, I'm worthy, I was a good kid, I'm a good person, these types of things, And so it was very helpful for me to do that. So that's why I thought we'd cover these positive affirmations, It's a good reminder for me to keep on doing that. So on the left-hand side of this one web page that I popped into the chat room there's positive affirmations. He says, I am a capable person. And we can say this to ourselves when we're feeling, lesser than, or that we can't do anything right. Kids are quite often told, children are told quite often by their parents, you never do anything right. You can't do anything right. That's just a really horrible thing to say to your children because it's not true. Excuse me. All of those things are lies, all of that garbage that they put on us, right? So I am a capable person. I have to believe that. I am a competent person. This is something we can tell ourselves. I am a competent person. I'm competent. I can do the job. I can do whatever it is I need to do because I have the skills and the tools, and I can do this. I can learn. That's part of being competent. Not everybody knows everything, and we have to believe that we can truly do this, and we truly matter, and that we can truly make it. And when you've been told all your life that you're not going to make it and that you're just worthless and useless, it's really important to change those beliefs, because those beliefs are what will a lot of times keep us from from seeking after those goals. We might have these dreams and goals that we have desired to do forever, and many times people won't do them because they feel like, oh, I'll never make it. But they've been told their whole lives by who knows how many people they'll never make it. They'll never be able to do anything. So I don't listen to people like that. Even today, when I have people tell me that sort of thing, I actually just ignore them because I'm like, I don't have to listen to that. You know what I mean? I can go after my goals and my dreams, and I can make this my world. I can create this world, my world now, my adult life, the way that I want it. And so if I want, to seek after some of these goals and dreams, then I'm going to do it. And I don't care who opens their mouth and says, "Oh, you can't do it" or whatever, because they're no better than my mother and my dad saying that I'd never make it and I was just a stupid person, a stupid kid or whatever. So I don't have to listen to that, and I don't. But I'm pretty stubborn, and especially as an adult here. I mean, I was stubborn as a child. That's why I'm still alive. But I'm stubborn, and so I don't, generally listen to that garbage and pay much attention to it. Another thing we can tell ourselves is I'm an intelligent person, right? We have to believe it. At first we might not believe it. We might just say these things like, I love myself, or we might not actually at one point believe it, but we just keep saying it anyway, because that's that loving voice that should have been telling us this stuff a long time ago, to help us to create a world around us that tells us that we are exactly who we are for a reason, and that we're supposed to be here, and that we are beautiful, all of us, and that we are, none of the shame and judgment and garbage that many parents put on their children, to warp their belief systems and whatnot, right? So it's important that we need to be able to say these things, and then eventually believe them, because they are true. I am a worthwhile person. That's something that we need to say all the time. I'm totally a worthwhile person. And when I was growing up, my mother used to say to me, you're worthless. And like she would be slapping me around and she'd be beating on me and she'd be like, you're worthless. You're just a piece of, and of course she was cussing and cursing at me and spitting on me and kicking me around. And, I grew up feeling worthless. You want to think of, you want to know about feeling worthless. I mean, I really felt worthless. And I really thought that I was, for many years. And it's pretty sad that parents will do that to their children, but they do. And this is abuse, right? It's completely wrong, it's false, and it never ever should happen. I am a worthwhile person, and I totally believe that now. It did take me a while to believe that, but I totally do now, because I know that that's true. Somewhere in there is truth, right? So that's what I'm always searching and seeking, the truth. And so I know all of us are worthwhile, every single person. So why would I be any different? Right? I can't exclude myself from that, right? Another one is I can dare to take a risk. I can dare to take a risk. So many people in so many people's lives will always try to run your life. I mean, we have people like you're we're stuck with this family running our life as children, and then half the time they're still trying to run it when we're adults. And I mean, we do have a certain responsibility, especially if we have children or we have responsibilities that, we do need to take care of. But in the meantime, people should not be really trying to run anyone's life. It is our life and we need to live it. And so, we need to be able to feel free to live it. So he says here, one of these things that we can say to ourselves, a positive affirmation, would be, I can dare to take a risk, try something new, right? Try something different. Take a little risk, especially if it's not really going to hurt anything and it's not going to completely set you up for a huge disaster or something. If it's a risk such as, trying a new hobby or learning how to do something new, taking a trip that you've always wanted to take, trying to get a different type of a job. Lots of people will be like, you can't do that job. You've never done that job before. You have a lot of critics. Everybody's got a lot of critics. Usually the people in our lives, right, are very critical. People in our lives are always trying to, in most people's lives, are always trying to be the, to be the foreman, to be the boss. And it's like, you know what? This is my life. I have to live it. You have to live yours. And, people can make suggestions, but there's ways to make those suggestions without coming across as being pushy or as trying to manipulate the person. So, I'm very much aware of people trying to manipulate me. So when people start doing that, I shut them down immediately. I'm like, look, I don't mind your suggestions, but you're not going to live my life for me. That's that whole codependent thing, right? I need to live my life, and I need to do it the way that I need to do it. And so, you know, we can dare to take a risk and try something new, a new career, try something new, right? Why not? Some of those risks are very positive, right? I would say it's a good idea not to take those negative type risks, crazy stuff, but the stuff that is good, right? That is the outcome is really going to be to better your life, or to make to sort of say, well, at least I accomplished one of my goals or one of my dreams, right? Another one is I am entitled to good. I am entitled to good. So I guess I would be like I am entitled to good things, or I am entitled to a good life, or I'm entitled to a good person in my life, or whatever it is that's good, right? So I am entitled to good, an entitlement. Absolutely, we're all entitled to good. The world would like to tell us different, because it's a seriously messed up world. But we are all entitled to good, and none of us should have to be dealing with bad, unfortunately, but that's the way it goes. But, if they're good, there's going to be bad, and, there's always that whole issue. But the thing is that we are all entitled to good. We're entitled to feel good about ourselves. We're entitled to feel good about this life, We have an entitlement. So I really work a lot on that the whole spiritual positive side of goodness, compassion, mercy, kindness, light and truth, and everything that is good, right? That's what I'm working on steady in my daily walk here on the planet, because I came from hell. I came from hell where there was no mercy. There was no mercy, period, in my home. Mercy was unheard of, and you could beg for mercy all you want. And as a child, I used to beg for mercy, and finally I just started saying, "Go ahead and kill me, because I'm dead anyway. You've already killed me anyway, so that's fine. Just end it, And so my soul was murdered, and my spirit was gone, and it took me a long time, to get any sense of goodness or love back into my heart. That happened 4 years ago, and I mean I was doing pretty good at living in this dysfunctional state up until about 4 years ago. But I was still contemplating my suicides, still wanting to self-injure. I was in so much pain internally, but I was really good at faking people out, because I'm high functioning. I can go to work, I can do my thing, but at the end of the day, it's like, am I going to kill myself or not? That's the question. Am I really going to show back up to work tomorrow? Because I may not. You know what I mean? It was very serious. And so, 4 years ago when I began my healing journey, I was seeking that goodness. I was seeking love in my heart, and I was seeking some type of love for myself and some type of love for this world and for me being here on this planet. And I thought there has to be, but I have to find it. And it took me. It's taken a while, and it certainly has been a journey. It didn't happen overnight, but I definitely could feel the hatred leaving my heart, and love and compassion and mercy and everything that was good coming into my heart. And that was the change. That's the change of heart that I had 4 years ago. And it made a huge difference in the way that I deal with life, because I'm not sitting around in that same old spot that I was for forever, So it's good to have these things. I am entitled to good, right? I am entitled to compassion. You could say something like that. I am entitled to compassion, like we all are. It's really something that people, we get so beaten down, that we don't think we're entitled to anything good. That's horrible. I choose to be happy. That's another one we can tell ourselves. I choose to be happy. I do choose to be happy. I'm trying to learn how to be joyous and trying to learn how to be. I don't know if I'll ever really be able to to do that. I'm really working on it. Because I don't want to. I guess what it is I feel like if I completely let go of the memories and all of the stuff that happened to me in my past, then I'm sort of, who am I? You know what I mean? And so I haven't quite gotten around to, obviously I'm still doing my shows here. I mean, if I had completely done that, I wouldn't even be doing these shows, and I wouldn't be caring about other people who are suffering, and, it wouldn't matter to me. You know what I mean? Because that's the whole issue. The reason why I'm doing these shows is because it really matters to me that people are suffering, and that we had to suffer through this and endure this horrible childhood, and none of us deserved it. You know what I mean? So if I let go of those memories and I let go of that, then I can see that I would not be concerned about stopping child abuse. It wouldn't matter to me. because I'd be off and I'd be happy and I'd be on my little journey doing whatever I was doing. You know, a lot of people have to do that. There's a lot of people that do that. Survivors that, you know, that heal and they come full circle, and because they've completely let go of all of that stuff, they can't pick it back up again. And so for them to try to get involved to stop child abuse or to try to help other survivors means that they have to pick it back up again, and they don't want to do that. And so they go off into you know, the world of the living, and they don't pick it back up again, and they don't want to deal with it ever again. And I can see that, and I understand it. For me, I didn't want to do that, and I can't do that because I refuse to back down on the issue of child abuse, and so therefore it's possible, very possible, that I hang on to the memories and what happened to me so that I can write and make a difference and speak out and use my voice and try to change this for children. Right? But I still, you know, I'm so much happier than I ever have been really right now because of the fact that I feel that I've actually got some control in my life. You know what I mean? So, you know, for the first time since my whole life, really, with this healing journey, since I was 41, you know, about 4 years, I actually feel like I'm in control of my life. Obviously, we can't control the world and we can't control other people, but I can control how I feel. You know, so this is probably the most steady and stable that I've ever been as far as my emotions go and the way that I feel about myself and the way that I feel about life. So I would say that I have really made a lot of progress, right? And so I have found a lot of happiness in that, you know. And as far as joy goes, I mean, people can bring me joy, you know, but I'm still looking for that internal joy but that my inner child is still working on that. She doesn't know how to have internal joy. My inner child, that inner person that I was so long ago, because we were brought up in a joy-filled house, right? I mean, our home was a hell, and it was horrible. And so my child did not understand, or could not, you know, doesn't even know how to be joyous, really, you know, because every time she was excited or happy, she got slapped down. You know, every time she was wanting to play and do something fun and be a child, she got beaten or sexually used. So she doesn't have that joy inside. You know, it's been squashed, it's been warped. I knew the point where it was warped. You know, by the time I was 10 years old, I was like, I am so completely screwed up. You know, somebody's gonna have to kill me because I'm dead. You know, and I used to have the most evil thoughts. You know, and it was just from living in this evil environment and being treated and mistreated so badly that, you know, I just developed a hate on for life, really, and for myself, right? So she doesn't. I'm still working on my inner child, and I have a lot of inner child work to do. And I'm doing some work with a friend of mine, Gypsy Witch, and she's walking me through some visualizations and whatnot. And I do a lot of work with other people, and I listen. You know, I'm quite interested because, you know, I learn a lot from these people. And I'd say wherever we can get that help, you know, is important, right, that we do, whether it's a counselor or therapist, you know, grief counselor, you know, psychotherapist, whatever, a group support, online group support. I like online group support because I think there's safety in numbers, right? So I'm always happy when there's more than one. So safety in numbers, you know, I don't trust people still. I mean, my inner child doesn't trust people. As an adult, I do, but my inner child doesn't. And she's like, prove it. Show me that these people are worthy, and these people are not going to hurt us, and these people are not going to turn out to be like mom and dad and hurt us and you know, use us and mistreat us, you know. And so, you know, she's trying to learn how to feel differently about things. But I know for myself as an adult, you know, I've been able to trust lots of people, but my inner child doesn't. So there you go. So group support's the best thing for me. I really like group support. So whatever works for you, you know what I mean? Some people are more private and they'd rather have more of a one-on-one situation, you know, with a therapist or a counselor, and that's great. I think it's just whatever we need. That's what we need to go ahead and pursue, right? Because we certainly deserve to feel better. We deserve to have the best out of this life, you know, and we did not deserve what happened to us, that's for sure. And they carry into that guilt and that shame around, you know, absolutely wasn't even our fault, so why would we want to do that? That shame and guilt belongs to the abusers or whoever abused us or mistreated us. It doesn't belong to us, you know. So here's another one. I can ask for what I want. That's another positive affirmation. I can ask for what I want. Abused children in general, sometimes they will ask for what they want, and especially if they're not being abused, they might be able to do that with their parents or out of life, just asking for what they want. And I know as a child, growing up abused, abused children usually can't ask for what they want, It's like, asking my mom for $5 was looking for a beating, you know what I mean? And I did catch a beating for asking her for $5 one time, so that's the thing. And I was told I was going to go into foster care, and she hated my guts, and I was causing her so many problems because I asked her for $5. So we learn really quickly as a child growing up abused not to ask for anything. It's better to stay quiet. It's better not to ask, because you just end up in trouble. So I learned how to just get by with what I have, and so learning to ask for what I want, is a huge issue. I can ask for what I want, and so I'm learning how to do that as an adult, and now I'm doing so much better at it than I used to. But I know when I was a child, growing up, asking for what I want was dangerous, was deadly. And so, even just opening my mouth was an issue. So that's the problem. I can say what I feel. That's the issue. When I was a child, I wasn't allowed to say anything. If I came in the room and said anything, my mother would usually throw something at me, slap me around, get a hold of me and throw me into walls and grab, hurting me, like grabbing my shoulder and choking me up against the wall. And my mother had a hate on for me. She really did. And it's kind of sad because I loved her, but, what can you do, right? Can't force people to love you, there was nothing I could do. I tried to get my mother to love me, and especially when I was really little and when I was young, and before the age of I'd say 10, 11 years old. And after that, I really didn't care. And, but this went on for years and years and years and years. And, I could never say how I felt. And finally, when I got a little bit older and decided that I didn't care if she killed me, which was right around the age of 10, I used to tell her how I felt. Because I was like, you're gonna kill me anyway, you're gonna beat on me, you're gonna hurt me, I'm gonna tell you what I feel. So I started telling both my parents, and of course it got me some beatings, for sure it did. Because I opened up my mouth and said the way that I felt, But I didn't care. I was like, I don't care, you go ahead and kill me, but I'm saying what I gotta say. And I started to tell them off, and not cursing at them and being disrespectful. I used to tell them, you're hurting me. I don't like the way that you're treating me. And of course, I would catch me a beating for sure. So my mother would be like, you ungrateful, rotten, blah, 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 and whore, and, you're just a slut. And of course, I'd catch a beating for that. But I didn't care because I wanted them to see what they were doing to me. And I was like, you go ahead and kill me. I don't care. Whatever. Killed me already, so that's fine. And but then, of course, those beatings that, that I took later on, around the age of 13, 14, could have killed me. And it was a pretty scary situation because I thought that I was actually going to die. And I could have died, actually. And that's just absolutely horrible that parents will do this to their children. Never should have happened. You know what I mean? Never should have happened. I can say what I feel, And so now, as an adult survivor of child abuse, as you can tell here on my radio program and everywhere else that I go, because I don't just say this stuff on the radio. I mean, on Blog Talk Radio, I'll tell anybody this out in public as well. That it's absolutely heinous what we have to go through, and absolutely wrong. And I can say how I feel. I don't have to feel bad about that, right? I don't have to feel guilty for something that I did not do. I do not have to feel shame and guilt because I'm speaking out against what happened to me. I was talking about this on a show not too long ago, probably a few days ago. That the world would want me to shut up because they would think, that, what are you going on and on about? I don't have to feel bad about going public with my story. That's what I chose to do. I'll be doing public speaking for the rest of my life. And so it is to raise awareness and to show the world what's going on behind the eyes of an abused child. And I chose to do this because I figured I've got nothing better to do than to show people what it's really like. So this is absolutely horrible. We certainly didn't deserve it, So you make sure you reach out and get help, And if you can't cope and you're having a hard time coping, you make sure that you call a crisis line or something. But you do deserve to be here, so you stick around, right? Better days won't happen if we're not here to experience them then, you know what I mean? So I'm glad I stuck around and made the right choice. You make the right choice for yourself and you get some help, and even if it's self-help, then you make sure you stick around, right? So have a great day, everybody, and we'll talk to you soon. I'll be back on tomorrow. 7 o'clock, same time, same place. And, if you need something, I'll be around here. You can leave a message for me on Blog Talk Radio or, Facebook or whatnot. And, just take good care of yourselves and make sure that you do reach out and get some help if you're having a hard time. Many times there's no one around to talk to, and people are busy, they're working or whatever. And, you make sure you phone a crisis line if that's what you need to do. I made a commitment to myself that that's what I would do. And I stand on that commitment because I'm not giving up, not ever. So I don't want you to give up either, not ever. It's not an option, right? So stick around. Have a great day, everybody. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.